Thank you for joining us for this episode of the 9-Minute Mentors. My name's Joe Walsh. I'm the Director of Business at Samsung for the UK and Ireland. So why 9 minutes? Well, research tells us that's what most businesses lose to failing technology every single time we join a call or a meeting. And in business, every second counts. During this series, we've been speaking to small business owners, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Freddie Garland, founder of Freddies Flowers. Freddie, so pleased to meet you. Tell me about Freddies Flowers. What led you to the idea?
Yeah, well, very nice to meet you as well. Thank you for having me. I suppose I started Freddies Flowers back in October 2014. Yeah. So almost 9 years ago this October, which feels unbelievably quick. It's extraordinary. And I grew up in a flower shop. So my mum and dad owned a flower shop in Pimlico for 30 years. So I sort of, in the back of my mind, always had flowers, I think, in my bones, as it were. And then I went to work for Abel and Cole, who are the organic fruit and vegetable people. Do you know them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I sort of started doing door-to-door sales for them, which was going around London, basically trying to sell boxes of organic vegetables. And I suppose what was so powerful about Abel and Cole, and what I realised is, you know, through a subscription model, you're able to plan very far in advance with your growers. So, you know, I was witnessing, they would work with their carrot growers, for example. And because you know with a subscription how many deliveries you've got in a certain week, you can kind of forecast that. And I sort of thought, well, surely we can apply that model to flowers. So I married the concept of the subscription sort of Abel and Cole type business with wanting to have this really creative flower business whereby, you know, the customer gets to arrange them together. I sort of saw it almost as an evolving seasonal artwork throughout the year.
How did you then go and bring and recruit people on and start a culture within Freddies Flowers and then almost impart that very evident passion that you have?
I mean, really that came down to trying to find some semi-like-minded people that I felt could relay the message in the right way. And that started with actually my brother and his group of friends. So he'd just come out of university and he had a friend of his who was the first person who I kind of got to come and help, do the door-to-door speaking to people, and he was one person, and we would go out at sort of 4:00 in the afternoon, and then we'd knock on doors till 8:00, and then quite quickly he was just kind of relaying that message to lots of his friends who might have been fresh out of university. You know, not a great deal of stuff to do. Yeah. But I would meet them, check they were kind of passionate and able to chat to people, and then that developed into we found quite a lot of it worked really well for actors and sort of creatives who were in sort of part-time work and needed part-time work, and actors are very good at speaking to people. So that's kind of how it went from like a group of my brother's friends who knew me quite well and were able to kind of really talk about the concept to then the acting community, and we've been huge in that.
And then kind of as we kind of go forward and sophisticating and I want to say maybe even democratizing your supply chain to make it so predictable, enable and deliverable to your customers so you can give them the best experience possible. At what point did you make that transition? And I suppose the follow question to that is like, how did technology support you on that journey?
I think we started off with the whole essence that we weren't a brand. You know, the whole thing was just friendly. It was just really nice. It was just a relatively large group of people charging around, talking to people about an extremely nice thing. And actually the sort of website supporting that was unbelievably basic to start with. And that kind of helped in a way with the essence of what we were all about. It was like simple. There was one arrangement a week. It was almost to start with, you'd actually email in and say, I don't want a delivery next week. You know, customers can be very flexible with their deliveries, and they just email in and say, I don't want it next week. We're off for 2 weeks. And we'd almost manage that in an Excel spreadsheet. I mean, it was, it was like that for a very long time. Yeah. The nature of it felt very like, people were chatting to me, and one of the first hires, was customer service, along with some people helping with sales, but I'd be in the room with the customer service people, and customers would essentially be talking to me, and it would feel very personal.
Yeah.
And that went, maybe 3 or 4 years of just really basic technology behind everything. We then realized that actually subscription models are quite complicated. And in order to really fulfill that, and as you start to grow and you do get more customers, and you want people to be able to be as flexible as possible, and be able to use an account and things really easily. So we needed that all to enhance. Yeah. And now one of the most important people in the business is a lovely fellow called Gopal, who is our engineering director. And essentially we've built an incredible sort of subscription website from scratch, which has given customers just complete control over flexibility. They can skip holidays, they can change arrangement sizes now. And we've just launched gifting, so the ability for people to send Freddies flowers as a gift. Yep. So all of that has kind of come with having a very bespoke website behind it. Yeah. So technology has been integral to now making it function in the way we need it to growth. Yeah.
What do you see as the key enablers for building out Freddies flowers? I mean, before we met today, I knew who Freddies flowers was, but how do you really put that in the hearts and minds of certainly people in the UK and Germany?
The key enablers from my point of view within Freddies flowers are trying to have a team of highly creative people that are thinking highly creatively all the time about how we can be the most surprising, the most exciting flower business that exists. Yeah. And how are we going to make that opening of the box experience completely monumental every single time. Whether it's, we have a bespoke arranging guide as you've seen in the box, but how can we start to make that sort of unbelievably different and engaging each week? And that might come from the arrangement name, so what we name the arrangement, through to then the kind of creativity around how that's reflected in the box, whether it's different kind of craft paper wraps that we put in, which people can then wrap Christmas presents in, whether it's a partnership with someone really exciting and we do a whole box design on that, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
so, we could partner with a lovely interior designer and put a wallpaper pattern over the box, and then, bring that to life through interviews with exciting partnerships, and kind of, really bring our customers in on an exciting world that is flowers and creativity.
Yeah. If you were to give 3 top tips to our viewers, what would it be?
Trust your instinct, so stay true to the vision and do that. Have the correct team around you to make sure that they can enhance your vision. And my 3rd top tip is to try lots of different things and don't worry about failing.
Freddie, thank you so much for joining us. It's been fascinating talking to you, and fascinating for our watchers as well. We all know how important these 9 minutes of your time and of every small business in the UK, every second counts. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great.